crochet super fun times! Yay! So hopefully you've already seen the video on how to hold your yarn and how to do a slip knot. I am starting off with a slip knot on my hook already. I'm gonna just give the tail end to my right hand, and with my left hand I'm gonna pick up that working yarn, so the yarn that's attached to my ball. I'm gonna pick up the yarn with a little finger or pinky finger anchor there, and then have it on my index finger. I'm going to use my thumb and middle fingers to hold on to the tail at this point. I'm using the dancing hook technique, which basically means that you hold everything in your left hand and then your right hand has the hook and is able to just dance back and forth. And your left hand stays still, pausing only momentarily to pick up the work again, and then it dances once more. Okay, so what am I doing and what the hell do I mean by dancing? So by holding everything still in my left hand and using my thumb and middle fingers to hold the work, what that means is my right hand and my hook are free to move around. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a foundation chain. So that is the first row in any crochet project that is done in rows. And it's made up of chain stitches. So you can see here we've got a bunch of stitches which look a little bit like V's. So there's little V shapes that you can see. Hopefully you can see those on camera. And each V is a chain stitch. So to make a chain stitch, what you're going to do is you're first going to yarn over. Now yarn over basically just means that you're going to get some yarn on your hook. So you're going to hook up some yarn. The easiest way to do this with dancing hook technique is to make sure that your index finger stays very straight and that the yarn here is nice and tight. If it gets too loose, then you're not going to be able to yarn over very easily. So you need to make sure that you're holding it quite tight. You're going to want to bring the hook down in front of the yarn, push it away from you, lift it up, and this is the bit that actually hooks the yarn, and then bring it in front towards you again. Okay, so again, bring the hook down, push it away from you, bring the hook up, push it towards you. You can also think of this as like you're going in a bit of a circle that's going away from you and then coming towards you. So now, as you can see, I have hooked some yarn, so I have yarned over my hook, and if I move my hook, that yarn comes with it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to point the hook down and move it towards the loop that's on my hook until I've moved it through that loop, and that is what creates my chain stitch. So as you can see there, I've got a nice V shape, and that is my chain stitch. So again, yarn over, twist that hook so that it faces down, make it easy for yourself, try and keep this nice and loose, and pull that yarn through the loop, and that's a second chain. Now if you look here, you can see that there is one V here and one V here. So there's, if I'm looking at, and I'm just hiding the rest of the work here, if we're looking from the hook down, we've got a loop that's on the hook and then two V shapes. Those are our two chains. So if your pattern says that you need to put the hook into the top chain, it means you need to get your hook and put it into, wiggle, 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 that top chain. So now we've got the chain on the hook. If your pattern says something along the lines of chain 10 and then put your hook through the third chain on the foundation row, or whatever they've called it, then that means you want to turn your chain stitches towards you. You've got the loop here at the top, and then you've got 1, 2, 3 chains, so 3 V shapes, and you're going to take that hook and just put it into the 3rd chain from the hook, and that's what that looks like. Here's a little tip: if you are not too bothered about going into the V's, you can also turn the work around and look at the back of the work, and there's these ridges, and you can place your hook into the back of the chain stitch, so that way you're putting the hook through the ridge. It's a little difficult to see in this yarn. And finally, there isn't actually any crochet police that are going to come and break down your doors and be like, you didn't crochet into your foundation chain properly. So you can, if you want to, if you're making, like, say, a bunch of squares that you're going to sew together anyway, and you're not too fussed about having a nice edge on it, then what you could do is you could just put your hook anywhere you like. You can just shove it into any hole is a goal and just start crocheting into it. Okay? So the official way is to always put your hook into a V, but no one's going to come and tell you any different if you want to just put your hook anywhere. As long as you end up with the right amount of stitches at the end of your row, then you've achieved it.